I left that show, happier than I've ever felt leaving a show before. 100% exceeded expectations for myself.
Probably the coolest card show I've ever attended.
I think they killed it. They hit a home run for every fan. Definitely something I'll never forget.
All right, Fanatics Fest NYC came and went faster than a blink of an eye. I felt like we were there all 3 days, set up on Thursday, left Sunday. The show almost didn't want to end. We were there till like 5 o'clock. People were still looking. They had to kick people out. Fanatics Fest NYC, 100% exceeded expectations for myself, for my team. I left that show, happier than I've ever felt leaving a show before, and I can't feel better about the direction of Fanatics events and their direction for shows for the future. I feel like overall, New York City needed a show like that, and that's the thing. You can't just call Fanatics Fest a card show. It was like almost like a festival thing. That's why I call it Fest, half a festival. It was half like Comic-Con kind of vibe. Like they had all these activities. You could go run the 40-yard dash. You could go do an intro. I didn't do an intro, I should have. But go do an intro with the WWE like Jumbotron and stuff. UFC had the ring there. There's so many other things like live podcasts like John Boy Media, Pivot Podcast. There's people you could go, like actual celebrities and hosts and people that you see every day on Instagram or wherever else. You could literally go up to them, talk to them, watch them do their thing live. There's really not many other places that you can go to and watch that. So that's why, if you guys saw the intro to our first vlog, and go watch all the vlogs by the way, we were doing the intro and I'm standing out there with all the Fanatics Fest stuff behind me, and I just like the vibe there compared to anywhere else is like just incredible. I've never felt anything like that. Like I was actually excited. Like I'm excited to go to shows, but I was more excited than ever before to be there and start that weekend.
What's going on, guys? My name is Vlad. I work here at Santiago Sports. Just had a crazy weekend at Fanatics Fest New York City. First ever event that Fanatics Fest held. Probably the coolest card show I've ever attended. The venue was absolutely dope. Ruben, his team, they always put on great events. Had a feeling this was gonna be cool, but what it was kind of like very different than a usual card show. Usually you go in, just a bunch of cards, a bunch of vendors, but this was more like an experience. A bunch of celebrities, a bunch of famous athletes, just cool people in general. People were saying that like it was really expensive for the event and stuff like that, but for $60 to walk in and see guys like Jay-Z, Lil Baby, Kevin Durant, Anthony Edwards walking around you just like normal people, that's an experience.
What's up, guys? My name is James. I work at Santiago Sports. Overall, Fanatics Fest was an awesome experience and a one of a kind, especially being its first show. My initial thoughts on it were definitely exceeding my expectations, from the vendors to the amount of people that were there to what they delivered in terms of, consumer basis to fans, even to dealers running a booth for cards. My overall experience was great. I absolutely loved it. I think they killed it. I think they hit a home run for every fan.
So I feel like not only Fanatics Fest in general, but the hobby in general, Michael Rubin has given this line a million times. We want to 10x the hobby. Not only do they want to 10x the hobby, they want to 10x a sports collectibles card show. Like I said, it was an experience kind of thing too. Unfortunately, and I said this in the other video, the preview, you got to spend money to make money. And what Michael Rubin and Fanatics did straight up was spend a lot of money on marketing, spend a lot of money on athletes, a lot of money on celebrities, spend a lot of money just to make sure people knew about it and would get there. So you got to respect that, especially because Rubin said they're going to lose their ass on this. They're going to lose a ton of money on this first time event. But the point wasn't to make money the first time around. The point was put it out there, let people see it, and make them feel like they're missing this. Like they have to be at the next one. Like they can't miss the next one. And I think they did a great job of that because, I walked around with Tom Brady doing all these entrances the first day. Granted, the public wasn't there yet. It was dealer set up. But I was talking with Fred Taylor, watching Tom Brady walk out to Hulk Hogan's theme song in the WWE section. Like that just is crazy. They put money and time and energy into making people see what's going on there. And I gotta respect the hell out of it. That's one way to do it. They knocked it out of the park with that. There's this gentleman, Jay Hick, who came over to the table. He saw we had a dual autograph of Mike Trout and Aaron Judge. It was on card. It also had a patch on. I forget what the patch was from, but it was Game Used something. He loved the card. He had a connection to Trout, and he's like, "Hey man, I like this card. Can you hold it for me? I'll come back in an hour. We'll make some content. I'll get Trout on the phone." And I'm like, "Oh, all right. That's pretty cool." I believed him, but I didn't know what it would build up to be. So we get the card. He calls up Trout. We couldn't really hear too much. We see the card Trout sees the card, and he kind of gets Trout to like negotiate with me for him. The card wasn't for Trout. The card was for the guy, Jay Hick. So Trout's just like trying to talk me down. He's like, oh man, you gotta do like 2K on it, blah, blah, blah. And then he brings up something about like the Lions. I'm wearing my Lions hat. And I was like, Mike, you don't gotta say any of that to me. I hate the Giants too. I know you're an Eagles fan. He kind of laughed. But just talking to Trout and everything was pretty cool. I've met him before, and this is actually the card that he signed when I met him 2 years ago. I know I've told the story a million times, but it just so happens it's next to me. But Mike Trout getting into the hobby, I mean, he's been into the hobby, but he opened a pack with this kid trying to pull his 09 Bowman Chrome out, and he pulled one. So it's cool to see him get his kid into cards again, because I don't think he'll ever let up if his kid's into it. But that moment, it's pretty cool. And Topps posted it, Fanatics posted it, Fanatics Live posted it, and I didn't know Topps collabed with MLB. So not only did people who collect cards see it, but sports fans saw it on the MLB page. So that was pretty dope. But yeah, that's what I mean. It's like, that wasn't something that had anything to do with Fanatics. That was just being at the show and everything. That's one of the things like that, but you never know who's gonna walk around. I mean, if you didn't walk away from Fanatics Fest New York City, as a vendor at least, excited about other events they're gonna put on, then I don't think you were at the same place as me, for sure. I look at it like, again, I don't think they're ever gonna be able to replicate what they've done in NYC. I think they only make it better, and that's what I mean by that. Orlando, some of the shows are going to be more regional based. Like Orlando is going to be more of a card show than it is like a Fanatics Fest kind of thing, but they'll still have some of those aspects there. I'm sure they'll have, you know, like the Magic, a lot of Magic players there possibly. I really can't stress enough, it's like, you got to go experience it for yourself. You can listen to people like me. I'm giving you my God's honest truth on the event. Unfortunately, you did see a ton of people who weren't happy with it, you know, autograph lines, stuff like that, but I compare it to this. If you're at Fanatics Fest and are complaining about being online, waiting for a photo with Cody Rhodes or getting an autograph or something like that, you knew what it was coming in. You're not gonna be the first person online, go meet him and get off with it right away. You've been to Disney, you've been to Six Flags, you're waiting online for an hour sometimes trying to get on a ride. Same thing, it's an experience, it's part of it. People have to better prepare themselves. If you've never been to one, look at the reviews like this or other people. There's always gonna be positive and negative, but yeah, you can't please everyone. So a lot of people are saying that Fanatics Fest or Fanatics Events is gonna put out the National. I think they're two different separate entities and two different things completely. The National is basically a straight up card show with some interactive kind of stuff. You know, you have the athlete signing and all that good stuff, but Fanatics Fest is totally different, to where the vendors are almost a complete 360 from the National. And this is nothing against the National and like coming from me, but in general, the main gripe with, you know, younger dealers or people who are newer into this that travel the country going to shows is that the National, a lot of these people are grandfathered in. There's people that have been doing it for 44 years. That's how long the National's been going on. So the upfront part section of the show is all like vintage and people who don't really have much to offer this new era of collectors and buyers and flippers or whatever. So a lot of people don't like the National because of that. But the best thing about Fanatics Fest is, vendor-wise, you know, go kind of pick and choose people that represent the hobby well, people that, you know, do high-end, people that do F1, people that do wrestling, to kind of cover every aspect of, you know, the hobby. So I feel like they did a great job really getting, you know, vendors with that add value to the show in terms of inventory and in terms of, you know, promoting what they have going on. I feel like they knocked it out of the park with that, and that's what separates the National old school kind of vibe to the new school Fanatics Fest kind of vibe. Some of the coolest things that like I saw Fanatics Fest, so these are like my little baby cards right here. He's my #1 rapper. Everybody's fiending over Travis Scott. You know, Travis Scott's cool and whatever, but Lil Baby's my guy. So I was like, all right, they gave me a heads up as to when Travis Scott was gonna go to the top stage and hand out all this Travis Scott stuff. And by the way, those boxes are like 2K, that's fucking nuts. Lil Baby went up there before Travis Scott and he was throwing out packs and I caught one from him. But one day, I've told Ruben before, I'm gonna get, hopefully this one signed. This is his best card right there, the 101 Lil Baby Ginter's. Best card, first 101 from Topps, so hopefully I get that signed one day. But just the amount of celebrities was like cool to see, walking around, interacting with people. My buddy, his name is Kevin, is the Captain 37 on IG, is literally primarily deals with Tom Brady cards. Like 90% of his inventory is straight Tom Brady. Somebody put in the word and Tom Brady walked around, found his booth, bought stuff from him, and they talked about the evolution of his autograph from his rookie year to today. So that's like, I mean, for that guy, that must have been like one of the best moments of his life. I know he has kids and shit, but like that's pretty fucking dope. So Fanatics Fest overall was an experience that I don't think we may never experience again. But what I will say is, and I said it before, if you feel like you missed out, you probably did, and you should definitely look into the future shows they have. They're gonna do LA and NYC once a year. I mean, talk about the two biggest major media markets in the world. I would say don't miss those. I don't know, like closing remarks on Fanatics Fest overall is just, you don't want to miss it. And I would really say look into it and do your research on if it's really worth it for you to go or not. If you're the normal card show kind of guy, you like that quiet vibe, I'm not saying don't try Fanatics Fest, but if that's what you like, stick to that. If you want to try something new and experience something you never had before, I would 100% go. All right. So as you guys know, we've been doing a lot more of these like sit down show reviews, PC kind of things. If you guys have any ideas on other videos you'd like us to shoot or like see us do, that's not what we normally do, drop a comment, because there are some ideas that we took from the comments and have made into videos. So hope you guys enjoy it. Subscribe, like, comment, follow us on literally every platform out there, and stay tuned for the next video.